Scope resolution operator.
Yeah, scope resolution operator. And we can define the member function two ways. So what are the two ways to define the member functions?
Inside the class definition, outside the class definition.
Yeah, good Ramya. So within the class we can define the function, and outside the class also we can define the function. So within the class normally you can write the program like C also. So that is the within the class. And what is the outside the class? How to define the function outside the class? What is the syntax? Syntax to define the member function outside the class. Okay, we are using the scope resolution, but what is the syntax? Total syntax. If you want to define the function outside the class, what is the syntax? I gave the assignment on Friday, but only few people submitted before 5 p.m. on Saturday. So I will consider those people before 5 p.m. If anybody is submitted, I will consider those people only. So after 5, I will not be considered, and those are the late submission people. S. Shashank, return type, class name, scope resolution operator, member function name. S. Good. So it is a syntax to define a member function outside the class. Okay. So is this clear? How to define the member function outside the class and how to write the program on that? Do you have any difficulty to write the program on a scope resolution operator, that is define the member function outside the class? Okay, okay, Shashank, thank you. Remaining people, do you have any difficulty, ma? Already, I think already all the people, most of the people executed the program how to define the function outside the class. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Vanilla. Thank you, Amrin. Okay, thank you. So I think everyone is clear with the what is the scope and what is the scope resolution operator and how to define the member function outside the class using the scope resolution operator. Okay. Now, today we are going to learn about array of objects. I'm going to share my screen. So the topic is array of objects. So what is an array? Anyone? What is an array? Array.
Collection of elements.
Yeah, okay. Collection of elements. Still
Collection of homogeneous elements.
yeah, collection of homogeneous elements. Yes, Sadvika, it is a collection of homogeneous elements. Means homogeneous means similar type of elements. Okay, so already you learn about what is an array in a C language itself. So I'm going to take the array of objects. So till now we have seen that what is an object, how to define the object, then how to call the data members and member function using objects. Now in this class, we are going to learn about array of objects. What is an array of objects? You can see the screen. The syntax to declare the array of objects. So it is a syntax, class name, object name. So up to class name, object name is similar to the previous declaration of object only. But array of objects, when you are coming to the array of objects, we need to take the square brackets. Okay, indexes. So between square brackets, we need to mention the what is the size of your array. Okay, so I'm taking the square bracket, I'm taking the size of array. So this is a syntax of array of object, class name and object name, and object name followed by the square brackets, and within the square brackets you need to mention the what is the size of your array. Now suppose if you are taking the example of this one, now you can see this one, the class name is stood, and I'm taking the object name as S, and the array of this object is, and the size of the object is here 10. Okay, means I can take the 10 data members and I can read the 10 data members details, and I can print the 10 data members details also using this syntax. Okay, Now, suppose if you are taking the how to call member function, okay, this is the syntax to create the array of objects, okay. But how to call the data members and member functions if you are using the array of objects? How to call the member function using array of object? So how to call the normal member function using object? What is the syntax to call the member function? Syntax to call the member function. Anyone? How to call the member function? What is the syntax? How to call the member function? I'm not asking the array of objects. Simply I'm asking the how to call the member function. We discussed in the previous class also already. Some of the people executed the program also. So how to call the member function?
Void read.
Void read is in a normal C program. We are taking the function definition void read. How to call in C++?
By creating object.
Yeah, by creating the objects. Yes, sir. By creating the objects, we are calling the data members and member functions. But what is the syntax? After creating the object, how to call the member functions? How to call member functions?
Then type class name member function.
What? Anybody? Object dot function. S Shreya Reddy. Thank you. Object dot function name. So if you want to call the function, we need to use the syntax object name dot function name. So we need to create the object before that one. So how to create the object? Class name, object name. Then using object name dot member function, you can call the member function of a class. So the only one people is responded to my question. What about remaining? Do you understand the concepts, or is there any difficulty to understand the concepts? Is my clear? Is my lecture is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Or do you have any
Yes, ma'am.
difficulty? I'm going in fast or slow way. So is this clear for you?
It's clear, ma'am, how you're saying.
Yeah, okay, thank you. But nobody is responded to my question.
At this time, we didn't get that points, ma'am.
Yeah, right. So that's why I'm telling that please make a note. Note all the points in your separate notes. Maintain the separate notes for DS C++. It is very, very important. It is not like a theory part. You can read the concepts like a theory part, like OAs or other subjects using textbooks, or you can go to the other notes also. But come to the programming language, it is very difficult. You need to all remember all the points. So make a note all the points in your notes. At some day, definitely I will ask your notes. Show me your notes. So till now, what are the topics we have covered? I will ask definitely. If anybody is not doing that one, so simply I'm doing something. I'm going to decrease the marks in some assignments, or if we are taking the lab part, I will again, I will do the something related to that particular one. So maintain the notes and write down the points into the notes. Okay, so then you can remember all the points. Okay. Okay. Now, so how to call the member function using object name dot member function name. Now, if you are using the array of object, what is the syntax to create the array of object? Class name, object name. Within the square brackets, we need to mention the size of array. An example you can see here. Class name is stood and the object name is s, and within the bracket, I am taking the size of array is 10. Then, if you are using the array of object, then how to call the member function using array of objects? Now see this one. This is the syntax. Array of object name, and within the square brackets we have to take the indexes. When you are taking the array, we have a index positions. So like index starts from 0 to up to n minus 1, that is size minus 1. Okay. Now dot object name of index dot, you can take the member function name. So instead of simply object name, we are taking the array of object, and within the square brackets, you need to mention the index position dot member function name and ending with the semicolon. So this is a syntax to call the member function using array of object. Then you can see the example here. So S of I. So what is the object I have created here for the student class? S of 10. So object is S here. And I am taking the indexes here. So when you are taking the arrays, we need to take the for loop to read the values into array as well as to display the values of a array. So we are taking the for loop. Using for loop only it is possible. Okay. So wait a minute, 1 minute. I have some disturbances over here. So how to create how to call a member function if you are using the array of object? So S of I, object name, index position, and dot, we have to call the member function. Okay. Now we'll see the programming part, how to create the array of objects and how to call the member function using array of objects. Okay. Now let's see that one. I'm going to take the online compiler. So before that, I'll write the code in a notepad, and then it will be clear to see the code. I'm taking the notepad. Yes. Now, I'm going to write the programming, how to create the array of object and how to call that function using array of object. So I'm taking the hash include. So what is the header file we have? IO stream. Okay. Then we'll take the class program now. So I'm taking the using namespace space std, and I'm taking the class, and my class name is stud. Class name is stud. Okay. Then I need to create the data members and member function of this class. Simply I'm taking the just rule number name. For easy understand purpose, I'm taking only 2 data members. Okay. So I'm taking the char name. I'm taking the some date 10. Okay. So these are the data members. So in a class, so these are the data members. So these are data members. This class rule number and name. So these are the data members of a class. Now I need to take the member function, and here I'm not specifying any access specifier, whether it is public, private, and protected. So in that case, what is the default access specifier?
Private.
Yeah.
Private.
Yes, good, ma. So it is a private. If you are not mentioning any access specifier, it is simply private. Now I'm taking the, now after declaration the data members, I'm taking the public access specifier, and under public I'm taking some member function like void read. Okay. Now see here, before public I have declared some data members, and these data members acts like a private. Then after that I'm declaring some public access specifier. Below that I'm writing some member functions. Means here data members acts like a private and member functions acts like a public. Okay, is this clear everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. Now I'm taking the 2 member functions to read the values, and to display the values. Okay, so I'm taking the display function to display the values of my class. Okay, now see here, in two ways we can define the member functions: within the class, outside the class. Now in this program, I'm going to show the both the ways to define the member function within the class, outside the class. So here I'm taking the void read. I want to write the code for void read within the class. So I'm opening the flower braces here itself. Okay. Now here I need to write the code. Cout, enter the details. Enter.
Ma'am, beside void read, why didn't put semicolon?
No, it is a function definition. Now see here, in a C program, when you're writing the function, we have a three different syntaxes. If you are using function, we need to take the function prototype, calling function, call function. So when you are taking the prototype, we need to take the syntax before main function. You need to write the syntax. What type of function? What is the written type of function? What is the function name? And within the parameters, you need to mention the like this. I will show that one first. Then we'll go to the now in your C program. If you are using some functions, now I'm taking the void main. Okay, I want to use some function. If you want to use the function before main, you need to write the syntax or prototype. So I'm taking the return type as void, and I want to take the add function, and I want to perform the addition of two numbers. So I'm taking the int. I want to perform the addition of two integer numbers. So this is called as prototype. Is this clear? So this is a prototype. So before main, you need to write this syntax. What type of function, what is the return type, and what is the function name, and what type of addition you are going to perform, whether it is integer or float or like that. You need to mention the type of parameters also. So this is a prototype. Now I want to write that I want to call that function here, like here. And suppose I want to take the integer values, that is 3, 2. So this is the calling function. This is the calling function. I want to call this add function. Now I need to write this code for add function after closing the main function. So what is the return type I have declared here? Void. So this is the void return type. So I am taking the void return type, and the function name is add, and I am taking the integer data parameters. So I am taking the variables A, format parameters, int like B. Sorry, we don't have any simple. Now here we need to perform the addition. Like I want to take the printf percentage D, because it is an integer. Then I can take the A plus B like this. Isn't it?
Ma'am, you're writing in C.
Yeah, I'm writing in C only.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the prototype. So if you want to use the functions, we have a 3 statements. So it is a prototype, means before main function you need to declare what type of what is the function name you are going to use in your program, and what type of parameters you are going to use in the program. You need to declare that prototype before main function. And in main, within the main function, I'm calling the add function. This is my function name, add function, and I'm taking the two parameters, integer type 3, 2. So this is the calling function, and this is the function definition. After closing the main function, and I'm taking the code of the add function. I'm writing some code for the add function. So if you are writing the code for the add function, so that is called as function definition. Function definition. Okay, now in this prototype you can call as a function declaration also. We have a names here for this one, function declaration or prototype. Now once observe this program, we have a semicolon for the function prototype or function declaration. It is only declaration. What is the type, what is the name of the function, and what type of parameters you are going to use in the program. That's it. We are not writing any code for this one. and this is the prototype declaration, and it is ending with the semicolon. Now come to the main function. Within the main function, again I am taking the add function. So here I am not taking any void. Why? Because I am calling the function here. I am not declaring any function. I want to call the function. So how to call the function? Simply with the function name, and you can pass the parameters like this. So this is the calling function, and it is also ending with a semicolon. We are passing some parameters also. Now come to the function definition. We are writing the code here. So what is the meaning of semicolon actually? Ending of the line, isn't it? Semicolon means ending of the line. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. So if you are taking the semicolon here, the function is ending up to here. It is not going to this particular printf %d a plus b statement. So why? Because what is the meaning of semicolon? It is ending of the line. So if you are ending the line with the semicolon for this one, so it is not going to execute this brackets. It's not going to execute this particular bracket code. So in that case, what is the use of the function definition? I want to execute the statements now. So in that case, you need to remove this semicolon. So we don't have any semicolon for the function definition. But come to function declaration, we have a semicolon. And calling function also we have a semicolon. But come to function definition. What is the meaning of function definition? We are writing the code for the particular function. So when you are writing the code for the particular function, we don't have any semicolon here. Okay, then you can open the braces, flower braces, and you can write some code here and close the braces. So these are the three statements when you are using the function, that is function declaration or prototype, and we have to call the function, and we have a function definition. Is this clear, ma, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. Now come to the class program. So if you want to use the same in C++ also, you need to take the cout statement. That's it. Simply you need to take the cout statement, less than symbols. You don't have any specifiers here. Simply you can take the a plus b. That's it. Same program in C++ also. Instead of printf, I'm taking the cout. That's it. Everything is same. You need to take the function declaration, you need to call the function, and you need to take the function definition also. But when you are using the classes, how to take the function program into the class? Now see this one. I'm going to erase this one. Now see this one. So this is the class. So within the class, I'm taking the functions. So we don't have any function prototype when you're taking the functions in the class program. Simply we have a what is the code of the function and how to call that function. That's it. Okay. So we don't have any prototype before main. You don't have a syntax to declare the function before main function or the before class. So we don't have any syntax like that. But we have a function definition and calling function. We have two statements here. In a C class program, we are using only two statements. What is the definition of the function? Then how to call the function. Okay, when you are defining the member function outside the class, we have a declaration also. Now let's see this one. So I'm taking the void read function. I'm not using any semicolon. Why? Because I need to write the code. So whenever you want to write the code, simply omit the semicolon after the function name. So I need to write the code. So open the braces. I'm taking a cout. Enter the details of students. Okay. Now I want to take the cin statement. Using cin statement, what is cin object? We need to read the values. So what are the values I have declared here? Roll number and name. Simply I am taking the roll number, name. Now I'm closing the read function. So this is the read function definition. I'm writing the code here itself. So we don't have any semicolon here. Okay. So void read, I'm writing the code for the read function. That's it. Closing the braces. Now I want to display the values of these particular students. So in that case, I want to take the void display. Now I don't want to write the code here. I want to write the code of the display function outside the class. So in that case, you need to take the semicolon. You need to take the semicolon. And guys, I want to make the announcement here. So we have it from September 1st onwards, we are going to take the lab session. Okay. So I will share the lab programming first week and second week explanation into this particular group. So go through the videos. So understand that concepts of what is the week 1 program and week 2 program. Try to execute those programs. Okay. So I will share that videos in the chat box or the chat group. WhatsApp group here. And some of the people are leaving the class now. So you have a attendance for each and every class. So if you have a less than 75, I think already in first year, you know what is a less than 75, what is the action we are going to take the in a college. So same thing happened in this also. So we are taking the attendance every time, every subject. We are going to calculate the average of your attendance in each and every subject. If the attendance is less than some threshold value, definitely you have a punishment. Maybe you need to pay some amount. Okay, like that. So don't do like that. So listen the class. I'm not going to explain the topics again and again. It is a programming part. So listen carefully. That's it. Okay. Now come to this one. So I'm defining the member function within the class. That is a read function. And for display function, I want to write the code outside the class. So in that case, I need to take the declaration here, ending with the semicolon. And I'm closing the class also, ending with the semicolon. So is this clear up to here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mumtaz. So up to here, I'm taking this is the member function. Read and display are the member functions. These are the member functions. Read as well as the display also member function. But I'm taking the read function within the class definition and I'm taking the display function definition outside the class. Now, how to define the function outside the class? We have a return type of a function. What is the return type of display function here? Void. Write it here. Void. And this display function scope belongs to which class? Stud class. So write down particular class name. So what is the class name of this particular? It is a stud. And use the scope resolution operator. Scope resolution operator. And we need to take the function name. What is my function name? Display. Okay, and I'm opening the braces. Now I need to write the code here. Okay, so like this read function, we have a statement C out, enter the details of student C in, read roll number and name. So like that we need to write the code for the display outside the class definition. Simply you can take the C out statement. Normally you are taking the details of a student. I'm taking the out statement. You can simplify this one. Rule number is, you can write like this also, rule number. And I'm taking the slash n. So I'm taking the same out statement for the rule number also. So instead of rule number, that is name is, you can print the name, you can use the slash n also. And I'm taking I'm closing the display.
Ma'am, at the beginning also we can use slash n, no ma'am?
Yes, you can use the slash n before also. No problem.
Ma'am, in C it is endl also we can use instead of slash n.
Yeah. So we can use the endl also. So, but some compilers does not support the endl. So for that, we need to include the header file iomanip.h. If you are using the endl statement like this, suppose I'm taking the end l like this.
Yes, ma'am.
So endl is also same like a slash n, but some small difference is there. Slash n is new line and endl is end of the line, but both are performing the same operation. It will take the new, next line is going to the next line only. Okay, so slash n
Okay,
is
ma'am.
new line and endl is end of the line, but both are doing the same operation. It will take the new line itself. Okay, and if you are using some endl operator here, then you need to include some header file iomanic.h like this. I'll write the header file also here, iomanic.h header file.
Hash include iomanic.h.
Yeah, hash include iomanic.h, but that means input output manipulations. What type of manipulations you are going to perform, that is new line or endl, like that you have to take the header file here. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah,
Ma'am, in one statement I will use endl and in next statement I will use slash n. If any problem.
no problem, no problem. You can use it in different ways, no problem. You can use one statement as endl, you can use
Ma'am,
another statement as a slash n, no problem. Okay,
మ్యామ్
Okay.
yeah, చెప్పమ్మా.
మీరు
What
టూ
happened?
స్లాషెస్ యూజ్ చేశారు కదా మ్యామ్ ఇక్కడ.
Yeah.
దెన్ IO manipulation dot h will be ignored, right? Ignored.
Yeah, if I'm using the slash n, iomanic.h is ignored. But when you are using the endl, here I'm using the endl statement now. So if you are using the endl, some compilers does not support the endl individually. So you need to write the header file for that one, that is iomanic.h.
మ్యామ్
This is
రాస్తాం కానీ అది డబల్ స్లాష్ లో ఉంది కదా మ్యామ్.
ఏది డబల్ స్లాష్ లో ఉంది.
సిలో సింగిల్ స్లాష్ ఇది మన C++ డబుల్ స్లాష్ పెట్టుకోవాలి.
So double slash, what is the meaning of double slash here? It is a comment line.
లైన్ ఎస్ మ్యామ్.
Comment line. I'm not including the header file at the beginning statement. You need to include here. After IO stream, you need to include the statement here, ma. Include IO manip.
ఓకే
Like
మ్యామ్.
this. Okay, you need to include the statement after IO stream or .h header file. But I'm not including that one, so I'm simply just telling that. So, what is the header file for the endl like this? Okay, is this clear?
ఎస్ మ్యామ్.
Yeah, okay, good. So this is the display function definition. So I'm writing the function display function definition outside the class. So in that case, what is the syntax? Return type, and the display function belongs to which class? That is the std class. So scope, resolution operator, and the function name. And you can write the code of the display function like this. Okay. Now, so this is only my plan. What is the class? It is only plan. It is a blueprint of an object. The memory will not be allocated for a class. When you are creating the object, then only memory will be created for the class members. So until unless you are not creating the object, class is useless. Class is only plan. So if you want to construct the building, first you need to make a plan. So if you want to construct building, you need to make a plan. So using plan, we are going to construct the building. So plan is not a physical one. It is only logical one. But come to the object, it is a physical one. Okay, is this clear, everyone? Now, I want to take the main function. Okay, main to main. I want to create the object. So what is the syntax to create the object? Class name followed by the object name. So what is the class name? Stud. And I'm taking the s here. And simply you can call the member function using object s dot read and s dot display. Isn't it? So this is a code to write the class program.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so this is a program. Now you can compile this program. So I'm going to compile this one. I want to take this into the online compiler. So I'm taking online compiler. So Now try to run this program. Yeah, we need to remove this H. Okay, now see here. Is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good.
Yes, ma'am.
So enter the details of students. So the output is asking that enter the details of student. So I want to enter the details. So what are the details? Roll number and name. So first I am taking the in roll number, then I am taking the name. Suppose if you are taking the first, if you are giving the first input as a name, so it will not be allowed, you will get some error. Suppose take that one. So I am taking the in statement here, first roll number, then name. But I want to enter the name first. So what happened? Now you can see this one. I'm entering the name first. Now see here. The compiler closed the total execution of the program. Why? Because what you are taking the statement here, in first I want to take the roll number, then I want to take the name first. Okay, first I want to take the rule. I want to enter the roll number, then I want to enter the name. So if you are doing in a reverse way, simply the program will be exit from the program. Simply or exit from the program. So that is the case. So first, what type of data memory you are taking? What data memory you are taking? Roll number or name? So as per that, you need to give the input. First, if you are taking the roll number, first give the roll number input. So when you are taking the first as a name, you need to give the first input as a name. So if you are taking the reverse way, so simply you are exit from the program. So as per instructions, you need to give the input also. Okay. Now again, try to run the program this one. Now enter the details of students. Now I want to enter the details. So first I'm taking the roll number. So I'm taking the roll number is 1 and I want to enter the name. Suppose name is some ABC. So roll number is 1 and the name is ABC. Then the details of students is roll number is 1 and name is ABCD. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. So enter the details of student. I'm entering the input, roll number as 1 and I'm entering the name as ABCD and I'm going to display the function using the display function. The details of student, roll number is 1 and the name is ABCD. So this is only one student details. I'm entering only one student details and I'm printing the one student details only. Now suppose if I want to take the bulk of students details, suppose 2 members, you can create the two objects also. If you want to take the 5 student, you can create the 5 objects. If you want to take the 10 student details, you need to create the 10 objects. If you want to take the 100 student details, you need to create the 100 objects. But instead of creating the 100 objects with the array of objects, I can read the student details and I can print the student details. So what is that one? How to take that syntax? Now see here. I'm going to the notepad again here. Now see here how to create the array of objects. Now I want to take the 10 student details. So in that case, I need to change this main function. Now how to take that one? So what is the syntax to create the array of object? Class name, object name. Within the square brackets, you need to mention the size of array. So here I want to take the 10 student details. So in that case, stud s of 10 student. The size of array of object is 10. So this is array of object. This is array of object. Okay, when you are taking the class name, object name followed by the square brackets, within the square brackets, if you are mentioning the size of array, then it is called as a array of object. Now, this is the syntax to create the array of object. Then I want to call the read function and display function. So this syntax is not sufficient when you are using the array of object. You need to write the for loop. So how to take the values into the array? When you are taking the array program, suppose I'm taking the array, I'm writing the array program here. I'm not using the actual program, just I'm telling that int a of 5. So what is the int a of 5? How much memory will be allocated for int a of 5?
5 bits.
5 bits. Is that correct?
10 bytes.
Yeah, 10 bytes. Why? Because what is the how much memory will be allocated for integer data type? 2 bytes.
Bytes.
Yeah, 2 bytes. And I'm taking the size of array is 5 here. That is 5 into 2. It will take the 5 into 2. Totally 10 bytes will be allocated. Why? Because the data type is integer. So further it will take the 2 bytes. And the size of array is 5 means I need to take the 5 values. So 5 into 2, totally 10 bytes will be allocated. And it is bytes, not the bits. Okay, 10 bytes will be allocated. Now I want to enter the values of this int a of 5. So how can I enter the values? Simply here you can read the values 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, like this you can give the values. So this is the static declaration. Always when you are executing the program, you will get the output as the array values are 1 2 3 4 5. That's it, isn't it? Yes or no? Always when you are executing this program, int a of 5 equal 1 2 3 4 5. So always you are getting the output of array is 1 2 3 4 5 values only. But I want to take the different values. So in that case, you need to take the function. So how to enter the values into the array? You need to take the function read. Suppose I am taking the read function. In read function, I am taking the cout. I'm writing the C++ only, ma. So enter the values, and you are going to read that particular value. Suppose a of I. So what is this I actually? Index. So how to read the number of values? You need to take the for loop. What is the for loop? We need to repeat the number of statements. So for loop int I equal to 0. Why? Because index start from 0 in array and I less than n minus 1. So what is the size of array here? 5. That is the n. N minus 1 means up to 4. Or I can take the I less than 5, or you can take the I less than or equal to 4. In both ways you can write the statement. I less than or equal to 4 or I less than 5. Then I need to increment the value I plus plus every time. So this is the for loop, and inside for loop I am taking the statements like this. Cout, enter value. Then I am taking the C in A of I, and I am closing the for loop and closing the functions. Is this clear, everyone? How to read the values into array? Using for loop
Yes,
only
ma'am.
it is possible. Yes, thank you, ma. Using for loop only it is possible. How to take that one for loop? So we have 3 statements in for loop. So first statement is it is a declaration or initialization statement. Why? Because index starts from 0, you need to take the declaration. And you need to take the conditional.
Up to 4 it will take, no ma'am.
Yes, ma. What?
4 values. Up to 4 values it will take.
Up to 4? No, up to 5 it will take.
You didn't put greater than equal to, no ma'am.
Now, what is the conditional statement? Now I'm using I less than 5.
Yes ma'am.
I less than 5 means, so what are the values? 0,
Okay, okay, okay. From there.
200%, 3 and 4.
Yes
Isn't
ma'am.
it? Yeah. So if you are taking I less than 4, in that case it will take only up
Up
to
to 3.
third index position.
Yes ma'am.
Yeah. So I am using here I less than 5. Okay, in that case, it will take the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 4th index position will take the values. Now, how to read that one? Enter the value and using scene statement A of I. What is the array name here? A. And in square brackets, you need to mention this I value, I. I think everyone is aware of that, how to read the values into array in C language, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, good. Now, come to the same in array of objects. How to do the array of objects? It is not simple variable here. It is an array. Now in that case, how to read the values? So this is the case. I want to use the for loop. I want to use the for loop here. For, and I'm taking the declaration of I equal to 0. And one more thing here, I want to tell this one, and it is a note point and it is a key point. In C language, if you want to use the variables in a program, you need to declare that at the first statement of your main program. After declaring the main function, at the first line, you need to declare the what different types of variables you need to use in the program. You need to write that at particular statement only. Isn't it? Yes or no? At starting step only, you need to declare the what are the variables you are going to use in the program. You need to declare that at first step only. Yes. But come to the C++ language, whenever if you want to use a variable at that particular moment, wherever you are, at that particular moment, you can declare the variables. You can declare variables anywhere, not at the particular first initialization statement. You can declare the variables anywhere. So that is the advantage of C++. You can declare the variables anywhere. Suppose if you are taking the C language, if I want to use the for loop, and if I'm taking the I variable here, so in for loop, I cannot declare the int I equals 0 like this in C language. You cannot declare the I equal to 0, int I equals 0 like this. So first you need to declare the int I at the declaration statement at the main function, the first line statement. Then you need to take the syntax for loop I equals 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, like that you need to take the syntax. But come to the C++, at any statement, at any place, you can declare the variables. That is the advantage of your C++ language. So here, directly in for loop, I am taking the declaration of my I variable. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So at any place, you can declare the variable. That is the advantage of your C++. So I am taking the declaration for loop I int I equal to 0, and I want to take the conditional statement I less than 5, I plus plus. Now within this for loop, I am calling the read function. But how to call the read function here? S of, it is array. So I am taking the index S of I dot read function. S of I. Is this clear, everyone? So I'm taking the for loop I equals 0, I less than 5 plus plus, and using this object and index position, I want to call the read function. So previously we are calling that how to call the read function S dot read function. Simply you are calling the object name dot read function. But when you are using the array of object and we have to use the for loop and the object of, that is the indexes, we need to mention that one. So S of I dot read function. So this is the way to access the data members or member function using array of objects and the for loop. Now I want to call the display function also. For display function, I need to display the all 5 student details again. Again, we need to use the for loop. Same thing, we need to use the for loop. Now, before display function, I want to take the same syntax of this one here. I equals 0. So when you are using this one, I equals 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, and I want to call the display function. And how to call the display function? S of I dot display function. Then return the statement ending. Is this clear, everyone? How to read the function if you are using the array of objects, and how to read the display function here. Okay. Now try to run this program. So I'm going to copy this one into the online compiler, and so when you are using the present compilers, no need to include the .hex. Simply you can write the header files. That's it. Okay, now try to run this program now. Now see this. So it is asking that enter the details of students. Now how many, what is the size of my array? 5. Means I need to enter the 5 student details here. I want to enter the 5 students details here. So first I need to give the roll number, then followed by the name. So I am taking the roll number here 501, I'm taking the 501 and the name is some ABCD. Next, again it asking that enter the details of student. Why? Because we are including this statement in the for loop. So it is now I'm taking the second student details. That is 502. I'm taking the input for the second student is 502 and some XYZ. It is a second student details. Then again it is asking that. Why? Because we have to give the 5 student details input. So 503. Here I'm taking the 503 and the some name is some like this. Then again I want to take the rule number 504, some name like this, and I want to take one more number 505, 505, and the rule name is like this. Okay, now, so till now we have given the 5 students input details. What is the name and the roll number? What is the roll number and what is the name of the student? Now, it will exit from the read function and it is going to display function. It will display the values of each and every student. Now see here. Now see this one. The details of student roll number. The details of student is roll number is 1 and the name is ABC. Then the details of student roll number is 502, then name is XYZ, and 503 and some name, 504 some name, then 505. Okay, so like this we can use the array of objects. Array of objects. You can read any number of student details. In that case, you need to use the object, array of object. If you are using the array of object, you need to use the for loop to call those functions like this. You need to use the for loops. So for loop int I equals 0, I less than up to what is the size here, I plus plus, and read the function, and using for loop we need to call one more function also like this. Is this clear everyone?
Ma'am, instead of character, we can use string.
Yeah,
Char.
some compilers does not support the string. Already I have told that in the first class itself when you are using the stringer.
Yes,
Some
ma'am. All
compilers,
compilers supports character.
yeah, all compilers supports the character, but some compilers only support the string. When you are going to the Java program, everything is with the string only, not the character. Simply you can use the string data type there. We have a string data type in the Java language. And in that case, any compiler supports the string in Java compilers. Java compiler supports the string data type. But come to the C++ compiler, only few compilers supports the string data type. Not all the compilers. Okay?
Ma'am, time.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So as time of course, I think your people are joining late, ma. So for that, I'm taking the 10 more minutes extra after the class 10:30. Please be in time from the next class onwards. Now I'm going to, if you're not joining the class after 5 minutes of my class, I mean, if you're taking the 9:30 is my class, if you're joining after 9:35, I'm going to take the absent for the student, that one. Just I'm simply put the absent for the student, that's it. If you're joining after 9:35, simply I'm putting the absent. If you are leaving the class in middle of the class, simply I'm putting the absent. What is the use of the joining and exit from the class if you're not listening the class?
Ma'am, some of my friends are unable to join the class, ma'am.
Why, ma? Why? The class timing is 9:30, but I'm up to 9:45. I have waited in the class. So these are the 15 minutes. Among these 15 minutes, you cannot join in the class. No. So it is not the exception case. So if the class is 9:30, you need to join in the class 9:30 sharp. If some disturbances are there, some network problems are there, okay, I'll give the 5 minutes exception. Up to 9:35, you can join in the class. But after 9:35, if any student join in the class after 9:35, simply I will put the absent. And if any student leave the class in middle of the class, simply I'll put the absent for the student. That's it. So after
Ma'am,
this
what?
point, I'm going to record the each and every student attendance. I can see the what is the login time and logout time of each and every student. I have a online attendance here, Google attendance. So
Ma'am,
I
if
can see that
network
one.
issue
If
is
any
there.
student is joining before that one, after that one, simply I'll put the absent for the student. That's it. No issues.
Ma'am, in case of network issues.
Yeah, in case of any network issue, that's why I'm telling that 5 minutes is exception. 9:35 up to 9:35 is exception. But after 9:35, if you're joining late, simply I'll put the absent. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Don't mind. I'll simply put the in DSC++. I'm very strict in each and every point of view, in attendance point of view, in program point of view, or in a lab point of view, in theory point of view, or in an assignment point of view. I will be in a strict. That's it. Okay. So this is the array of objects in a class program. Now today's assignment is same. You need to use the array of objects like name and the roll number, but take one more function and read the marks of a student and calculate the average of the student and display the each and every student name, roll number and marks average of a student. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes,
You need to
ma'am.
take the name, roll number, marks, and you need to calculate the what is the percentage of the student, and you need to display the values of all students. If you are taking the 5 student details, you need to display the 5 student details. What is the name of the student, what is the roll number, and what are the marks in the subject, and what is the percentage of the marks. You need to display all the student details values. Okay, so that is the assignment for today, and you need to submit before 9 p.m. of this particular assignment. Before 9 p.m. of today, you need to submit this one.
Ma'am,
Yes. Tell me.
please give time for tomorrow, ma'am.
Tomorrow I have a class now. What is the time of class?
Morning
BSc.
up to 5 a.m. like that.
Before your class, we will submit, ma'am.
Before my class. Tell me the time. Before my class means what is the time?
7 a.m.
No,
What?
ma'am, tomorrow up to 5 p.m.
No, ma'am.
7 a.m. you can give, no, ma'am.
Yeah. Tomorrow 7 a.m. Before tomorrow 7 a.m. time, you need to submit the assignment. And everyone has to submit the assignment in time. Then only I will consider that assignment and I will assign the values. Now you can see already I have done that one. You can see the what is the assignment marks for each and every student. Some of the people submitted it late. So for that people now you can see this one. This. So S means submitted. So rule number 1 and 2 submit the assignment, and some of the people submitted late. So that for that I'm taking the LS, late submission. After 5 p.m. the 30 rule number and 32 rule number submitted the assignment. I can differentiate each and every people before 5 p.m. What are the people? What the number of people submitted the assignment to me? So for that I am taking the S, that is submitted. But if any student is submitted late, that is after 5 p.m., I will consider that as a LS, that is a late submission. So further, I want to decrease the marks of the particular students. LS means late submission. Definitely, I will consider that marks also, late submission people also. So be careful, and this is the A section, and this is the C section. And C2, C5 submitted the assignment in time, that is before 5 p.m. But some E2 number, and some of the people submitted after 5 p.m. that is G5 and G6. So when you are submitting the assignment, so be careful with the time also. In time, you need to submit the assignment. So tomorrow 7 a.m. Before tomorrow 7 a.m. you need to submit the today's assignment. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Sadvika, you need
Okay, ma'am.
8 a.m. You need to take the up to 8 a.m. time. Okay, I'll give the time at up to 8 a.m. Okay, no problem. 8 a.m. Tomorrow 8 a.m. Before tomorrow 8 a.m. you need to submit the assignments. Okay, ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma. Thank you. You can leave the class now.
Okay, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma.
ma'am, I have a small doubt, ma'am. In some programs, in header files will be including standard input output dot h. In some will write IO stream. Why don't we write dot h, ma'am?
stdio.h and iostream.h.
Yes, ma'am. In some programs, why will write dot h, and in others, why don't we write dot h?
So let us see the C and C++ program. C is the first programming language. Then we are with the C++ programming language. So what are the problems in the C language we are overcome in the C++, isn't it? So now come to the iostream.h is the first header file. It is in the first compilers. We are including the iostream.h compilers. But when you are going to the present compilers, when you are coming to the future, so no need to write the .h. We need to overcome that one. Means already hash include is the header file itself. Then what is the need of taking the .h is there? .h means what is the h there? Header file itself. What is the meaning of hash include iostream? We are including the header files at the before main function itself. So no need to take the .h there. Why? Because hash include represents that it is the header files only. So when you are coming to the present compilers, they are rectifying that they are editing that .h is no need to declare the header file in the present compilers. That's it. There is no specialty to include the .h and excluding the .h in the compilers. Is this clear,
Okay, ma'am.
Shashank?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
So, as the language is more professional than the C language, so we are removing dot h, ma'am.
Yeah, .h is in that
Okay.
.h header file.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.